Now it's about that time. Hey. I got hit music, yeah. All the hits. Max hits, yeah.
It's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Nima Akshat Zibri. How are you today?
I'm fine. It's not an easy something. So I couldn't make it to Dr. Lumide's 55th yesterday. Apologies. Happy birthday, Dr. Lumide, if you're watching. I was at home. It rained, and I was not seeing the kittens.
Oh,
yeah. Of the myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but the fall be.
Oh, yeah, Barry.
Yeah, Barry. Fantastic. How are you doing, Maria?
I'm doing fine. Also, my apology to Dr. Olumide. First of all, when he said Balmora, I just assumed it was here.
No, yeah. It was the...
Yeah, it's just so way off my way, and the school runs and everything just didn't work.
It's a weekday.
But yeah, a weekday. So I was just grateful that I knew that for those of you who are on that side, you would show up for us. So happy birthday, Mr. Olumide.
Hello, Tokwe, how are you? I couldn't know.
Yesterday was just extremely busy for me. In the morning, I spoke at the Thriving Businesswomen Fellowship, and I taught on the acronym SHIFT, but with a different spin. It was spiritual discernment, habit formation, inspiration, like inspired ideas, financial intelligence, and T for tenacity. And it was a really, really beautiful time. Like, I went there with headache. I removed what was tying my hair. Like, I need to free my head. And I went on stage and I was wondering, where did the headache go? Holy Spirit just took over. I had so much energy that I expected. And then from there, we went to Dr. Lumide's party, 55th birthday party. It was a beautiful event. All the vendors did what they were meant to do. Bide Miola Oba. I didn't. He just finished the dance floor. I was just like, this guy. No. This guy is good.
So he's a dancer?
No, he's a gospel artist.
Okay.
Bide
I've hardly seen
Miola
Bidemi stay at any event that long. Because I'm a Bidemi follower. He goes for things and he's bang out. He was there.
He was there from 3.
Bidemi is still there.
No. He actually had another event.
Like
so when we were booking him, he shared the invoice for another event. They are deposited. He said for Dr. Olumide, he will refund the money and show up. And he honored him.
That was a real one. Even as a follower of Bidemi, we are still here. This is different. So, I mean, he really honored Dr.
We had a great time.
How are you doing, Obiajulu?
I'm doing great. Apologies as well. I was not able to make it. I had sorted out my outfit, my hair, my shoe. Yes, because I haven't been sleeping now. So immediately I told him that I'm about going for the event. Rain was still So my PA was ready, the driver was ready, and I said, I'm feeling a bit sleepy. He said, this one that sleep has come. Anti-sleep. He sent apologies later, so I just couldn't make it, but fantastic. I'm happy it went well. Congratulations.
For me, I enjoyed the event. The highlight of the event was his son. I have not seen a kid that handles the mic. I mean, I don't know what they feed this child. This child just knows
his own
he
son.
Has his father's character.
Whoa!
His father's stance and presence. He held the audience. How old is he? Like 14?
He's less. Listen,
when I say you hold audience, a child held up the audience.
He was funny.
And he's a comedian. We're all laughing. Even the comedian said was all making us laugh like this. He was laughing, and he was. I'm like, this is inborn.
I'm telling you.
I mean, like, you could just tell. And even the mother spoke to the mother said, like, this is exactly the father. Like you guys are just like the same thing. So
I'm so happy you highlighted that because it skipped me.
The son was the highlight for me. I just couldn't remove that from my head. God bless him. Happy birthday, sir. Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Umahi, all Southeast governors back in Tinubu for second term. Gowon proposes ECOWAS name change to bring back Mali and others. No governors in rivers when I declared emergency, President tells Supreme Court. PDP senators differ with governors over coalition. Reps panel Ohanese seek independent probe of UTME glitches. What retention of lending rate at 27.5% means for economy, says experts. Senators not elected to fight, President Akpabio declares. And EFCC hands over Emefiele-linked 753 Abuja duplexes to government. Okay, which story are we starting with? Which one?
Yeah,
the houses. I know that's the one you want.
So, after final forfeiture at the Federal High Court in December last year, the EFCC have finally packed the 753 units of duplexes and handed it over to the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. And the minister has confirmed this. The Minister for Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa, has praised the EFCC and confirmed this. He said this is a significant milestone in our collective effort and determination to ensure that recovery of assets are put to productive use. So I'm grateful for this, but a very linked story. Senator Idiat Adebule of Lagos West has also moved. Yes, she has moved a bill. The bill she's moving on the floor of the House on process of crime and how it should be handled as scaled second reading. This bill, according to her, proposes to establish a central agency to take over management and disposal of recovered assets and function. This function presently is shared by 18 government agencies.
Imagine.
They got the jam head.
We can't even know who the stuff is going to.
Exactly. So this bill, I hope that finally passes into law.
So one agency will have
agency handles it. And so we will know where we are holding hand on the matter. Because imagine if this agency was already existing, this bill had already established one agency.
Know what it's doing with the
we'll know where we are going for our units of the 7.
We'll even know where to apply it for the.
It should be 100% transparent. They said they will be, but
also 18 agencies, it's difficult to know where to.
So I'm slightly worried about the quality of those buildings. You know, say when they thief money,
they rush.
Konima die, Konima burial mentality. Now Koni people go build the house. So let's just know. But they should do quality check. The urban people should make sure that
let's take one more story.
Structure is good.
I have the Senate President, God Godswill Akpabio yesterday defended the cordial relationship between the legislature and executive arm of government. He said federal lawmakers were not elected to engage in political combat with the executive, and that they are expected to collaborate with the executive on policies and advance national development. So it was being featured in the forthcoming State House documentary marking the second anniversary of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, also highlighted the achievements of the 10th National Assembly. He said, when elected into the National Assembly, whether in the Senate or House of Reps, your constituents will not give you boxing gloves. It is not a boxing tournament. You're here to work in a bipartisan manner for the interest of Nigerians. And he said that the statement from the special advisor to the president also says that the executive legislature, the cordial relationship is not a sign of weakness, but a deliberate alignment based on shared national vision. And that if all your energy is spent fighting the executive, who then works for the people? Another part of it, the Senate President also urges Nigerians to embrace entrepreneurship, saying that small-scale production ventures can be successful if well managed. They're also looking to pass a bill. I hope I'm getting that right, and which is that it will prioritize the procurement of locally assembled automobiles. This is key to reducing capital flight and reviving our industry. So what they're saying is that they are going to encourage that we buy cars that are assembled here in Nigeria. They'll give them, priority before you buy the ones that you have to import. This is something that they are hoping to push legally.
So the House of Representatives Committee on Basic Education Examination Bodies has called for an independent probe into the human errors that disrupted this year's Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, that's the UTME. And addressing reporters at the National Assembly yesterday in Abuja, the committee chair, Ofoji Oboku, said they are working with Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, that's JAM, on reforms to restore credibility to the exam process. According to him, he said one of the measures under consideration is deployment of independent monitors in the 6 geopolitical zones to ensure transparency and accountability in the future. He says, we apologize to candidates, parents and public. This disruption is unprecedented in the history of JAM and must not happen again. Also went ahead to praise the JAM registrar, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, for his transparency and public apology, but he maintained that the errors were avoidable. So he says the registrar has shown courage by accepting responsibility, but we must be clear, this is a presentable or preventable lapse. Our students and the nation deserve better. So they are waiting for the lawmakers to go ahead and see how they can make sure that those things are set in the 6 geopolitical zones.
So I have the story from the only living founding father of ECOWAS, that is General Gowon, who expressed sadness over the exit of 3 countries that were member states of the ECOWAS bloc. He reminisced about how they, as founding fathers, put together ECOWAS to unite the West African region, and how even when he was, a coup took him out of being the president, there was fear that ECOWAS would dissolve, but the Togo president and other members of state president then had a meeting with General Muritala, who was then the president, and they were able to sustain ECOWAS, and that as at this time, we never thought it would ever happen that any member state would exit ECOWAS. And the reason for their exit is obvious, in that they made economical decisions and they were being fined by ECOWAS and being sanctioned by ECOWAS instead of being supported by ECOWAS, and they left ECOWAS. That's the 3 Sahel states. So he was proposing that maybe ECOWAS should change their name from being economic community of West African states to the economic community of, not instead of West African states, they should include West Africa and the Sahel region, because these 3 states are actually in the Sahel, that they've appealed for that name change before. That maybe if we change the name and include Sahel region, Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger, this might cause a change in their attitude and bring them back into ECOWAS. I think it's a good thing to do. I also think that reducing the sanction on them and thinking more of what's the impact for the entire West African zone and Sahel region will be more important than just saying we're placing sanction because of the decisions they made within their country to better their own country.
Moving on now to The Punch. May 29th, Tinubu to review ministers' scorecards. Federal government to auction 753 duplexes seized from Mifili. Missing Lagos bankers' corpse found in morgue. OPS, organized private sector, fault MPC over 27.5% interest rate. Immigration mobilizes joint task force against terror threats. Traditional council protests as Oyo Assembly backtracks. Dollar outflow for fuel imports surges by 119%. Federal panel submits key reports on census funding, and states to draft new framework for local government autonomy. Let's take any story before the break.
Okay, so one Olofofo from the Central Result Delivery and Coordination Unit with the presidency. This is a unit headed by Adiza Bala Usman and reviews all ministerial performances. Have Ofofo to the Punch that they have gathered it, and that because the president's 2 years in office will be soon, they will be dropping their report and most likely will get a review of ministerial performances as they speak right now, according to the same Olofofo. The head of the unit, Adiza Bala, is presently reviewing each of the submitted reports from all the ministries on their performances and projects under them. And so she will now collate it and then give president. We most likely might see a ministerial review or shake of cabinet.
Okay, let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it. You'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone. So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry of Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Brand new studio, brand new set, a new face, but still your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a fresh new energy, new vibe. You smell that?
Now that's the smell of tasty, tantalizing food from our various chefs.
And when it comes to sports updates with insightful analysis, the place you want to be is Wake Up Nigeria.
That's right. Every second there's a fresh occurrence, and every minute there's a story to tell. Keep abreast of happening locally and internationally via the news updates of Wake Up Nigeria.
It's live camera fashion, where we strut, slay, and sachet, and keep you updated with all the latest fashion trends.
Level up your morning.
Watch Wake Up Nigeria, where every morning begins with a spark.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty.
My name is Nachika Okeke.
My name na Uwi Balogun.
My name is Damilola Banire. My name is Moyo Faraway Ahmed.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing the papers. Punch.
I have a human interest story. So days after a Lagos banker, Osemudiame Demudia, was declared missing by his family, his body was recovered at a morgue in the Yaba area of the state. So according to Punch Metro, they said that Demudia had worked in the point of sale department of a commercial bank in the Kota area of Lagos State and was last seen on the evening of May 9th in the CMS area of the state. So one of the relatives, Shegun, spoke to the correspondent and said that the corpse was discovered on Sunday during a desperate search across hospitals and morgues in the state. He said the deceased is 26-year-old. He was a banker, was found with deep machete cuts on his head, face, and legs.
Wow.
He said the discovery raised suspicion that he may have been murdered. So they have said they found the body, he was murdered. We found the body on Sunday in a morgue at Yaba with machete cuts on his head, face, and legs. And they said he was brought to the morgue by police. Now, when they asked the morgue attendants, they said it was a policeman that brought him, but they didn't know from which station. They didn't have anything on the police, so they couldn't trace how he was, found and brought to the morgue. So it's just a very sad story that somebody would just lose their life, and we can't still trace, what has caused that.
Another story in Punch. We'll move on.
Yes, so the immigration, the controller of immigration, Kemi Nandap, has disclosed that the agency is intensifying efforts to, secure the borders. Particularly, they are working on the maritime frontiers to curb terrorism, piracy, and they said other transnational crimes. There was a workshop that took place in titled in Abuja, titled "The Maritime Security in Context of the Counter-Terrorism in the Gulf of Guinea area," and it was when she was delivering her speech at that particular event that she highlighted that there's a strategic gathering that reflects the commitment of the West African nations to jointly tackle the range of maritime threats. So this, because the event was focused on maritime threats and maritime challenges, the context of the conversation was also dealing with how to mitigate maritime threats that are affecting Nigeria and other West African countries by fortifying the defense capabilities of the maritime domain. So what specifically they'll be doing: passenger facilitation, control of traffic documents at the root of all, according to them, the root of all counterterrorism intervention. So they'll be doing that. They're also using technologies to increase surveillance, and with the expectation that when all of these are put together, we should have a more secure maritime area.
Okay. Moving on now to Daily Sun. Three-horse battle tears PDP apart. Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer absolves DSS of alleged denial of access. CBN raises the alarm over declining oil prices and geopolitical tensions. Tinubu stands no chance in 2027, says El Rufai. Headers kill PDP chair, others in Benue. NBA tackles reps over compulsory voting bill. And 2027, all Southeast governors supporting Tinubu, says Umahi.
Yes, again, sadly, gunmen suspected to be herdsmen militia have reportedly killed 4 persons in communities of Guma local government area in Gwer West local government area of Benue. It was gathered that the killings occurred on Monday in a renewed round of attacks in the state. They said headers shot the immediate past chairman of the PDP for Sedam. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce this area council, but it's in Gwer West local government area, James Akase, killing him on the spot. It was also gathered that in a separate attack on the same day, the herdsmen killed 3 other persons in some communities in the Guma local government area of the state. So there's a public analyst, Samuel, who disclosed to newsmen that the attacks on the aforementioned communities were coordinated and unprovoked. He explained that the multiple attacks by the headers that occurred on Monday left many people in the community severely injured, while others are currently receiving treatment at various hospitals across the area. Meanwhile, the current PDP ward chairman noted that Akase, former ward chairman, who was displaced from his ancestral home, met his death when he went to his ancestral home in search of food to sustain his family. So really, the stories just read alike. Unidentified gunmen walk into a community, havoc everywhere, kill people, injure so many, and leave. And then we sit down here, we read the papers, and we hear investigations will go on. So again, another sad news, and while we wait for the next one to happen.
Can I take the NBA story?
Yes.
So the NBA has, condemned the compulsory voting amendment of the Electoral Act to allow for compulsory voting, as proposed by the National Assembly. The president of the NBA, Afa Mosigwe, says this bill is inconsistent with the spirit and the letter of the 1999 Constitution, particularly Section 39 and Section 40. Section 40, of course, guarantees the right of association. It says, which also guarantees the right not to want to associate, as well as Section 39, which guarantees every citizen the right of freedom of expression, which includes the right to silence, dissent, and abstention. And that in a democracy, the right to vote is a civil liberty, not a legal obligation, and compelling citizens to vote through coercive legal measures violates the fundamental rights of Nigerians. And I hope that all of this will be put into perspective and the right thing will be done.
Yeah, so former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Kanu G. Agabi, and lead counsel to the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, that's IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has stated that the Department of State Service never denied him access to his client. He also said the trial of the IPOB leader, which has run for 10 years, has finally come to an end. In a letter to Asiwaju Adeboyega, counsel to the DSS in the case against IPOB, the letter was dated May 16. He said, contrary to media reports, he was never denied access to Kanu. I take this opportunity to refute the allegation that DSS, denied me access to the defendant. This is not so at all. On the long trial of IPOB leader, the former AGF in the letter also said, this charge has been hanging over the head of the defendant for 10 years. It has been brought to an end. The defendant must be prosecuted as is being done, and he must defend himself as he is doing. The defendant and his supporters ought not to be angry that he's being prosecuted, nor should his opponents be angry that he's defending himself. So he went ahead to also clear reports, clear the air on reports in social media over Kanu's trial. He said, I apologize firstly for myself to the court and your good self for the mistakes that I've made in the conduct of this case so far. I realize that I've made quite a few. I apologize secondly for whoever is responsible for the false reports in the social media of the proceedings in this case. For some of us in the defense team, we are on it not to plead our merits. We are on it not to plead our merit or competence, but the mercy of God, in the fervent hope that the peace that has eluded our country for so long will finally be our lot. He said we are in this case defending vigorously and prayerfully as we ought to. We took up the defense in fulfillment of our duty to the profession and in compliance with our ethics. To do otherwise would have been to condemn him beforehand. So it says this is the service to the nation, this service to the defendant, this service to our Lord. And they are praying that it goes as it should.
Vanguard, our final paper for this morning. National Assembly budget disagree over 6.93 trillion projects in budget 2025. How I beg Yar'Adua not to fight Obasanjo, says Lamido. 2.9 million children, Nigerian children, suffering from severe malnutrition, says UNICEF. How stray bullets killed WAEC student during chase in Ibadan. 2027, 5 Southeast governors are with Tinubu, says Umahi. This school's performance in power supply disappointing, says federal government. And UTM results due to human error, not technical glitch, says reps. Okay.
So I want to take the Minister for Power. You don't vex. So he was before the committee, the Senate Committee on Power, and he said that is the discourse that are frustrating their efforts. He says that the poor electricity that we're experiencing is totally on the discourse, and that through his special advisor on strategic communications, he was speaking, saying that they continue to derail the progress that the administration is looking to cover, to get through power. He says the glaring disparity in the distribution company performance with aging network, rampant electricity theft, and poor investment deepening reliance on unsustainable subsidies and leaving millions in darkness is what we keep experiencing. We need to get tough with the discourse, that as they can easily frustrate all the gains that we have made. He noted that the discourse was supposed to have technical partners, but a lot of them showed partnership with foreign companies for that purpose, and it only lasted about 3 months, after which, immediately after they took over office, and so they've been left to struggle on their own. So they need utility companies that can invest in the sector to improve infrastructure, improve service, and adding that a lot of them went to the bank to take loans, to buy assets after taking over. Instead of providing infrastructure, they are taking out the money to pay the loans. So you see how the estimated bills that the discos are happening on, they need to service their loans and pay back their loans. So, and the infrastructure that was supposed to be created for those loans are not existing, and so A lot of things, they don't throw them under bus.
Yeah, I have the UNICEF has revealed that approximately 2.9 million Nigerian children are suffering from severe acute malnutrition, SAM. The country representative of UNICEF, Mrs. Christian Munduate, made this known in Ilorin on Monday. She emphasized the need for immediate hospital care to prevent the timely deaths of affected children. She said that 40,000 packs of ready-to-use therapeutic food, that's RUTF, through the Child Nutrition Fund, that over 40% of children in Kwara State are affected by malnutrition. So she said this while she was handing over these 40,000 packs. She also said that the Kwara State government had contributed $100,000 to access this Child Nutrition Fund with UNICEF, and matching the amount. According to our records, that's according to her, there's 2.9 million children in Nigeria suffering from severe acute malnutrition, which is a troubling situation. The affected children should be taken to hospitals immediately. UNICEF introduced this Child Nutrition Fund to boost investment in nutrition policies and programs, and they are committed to partnering with Kwara State government to combat malnutrition, especially during the critical first 1,000 days. So this 100,000 that was contributed by Kwara State is an arrangement that UNICEF has with other state governments, as in if you're willing to make that 100,000 contribution, then they can come and hand over to you those RUTF, and also, you know, look into the children who are malnourished. So some of the things that were identified as the reason for malnutrition, she says poverty, climate change, food insecurity, and related challenges as key drivers for severe acute malnutrition. So Kwara State is being highlighted here as, you know, motivated to positively impact their own children. And I'm guessing that many other states will be doing this, and if not, this is something that they should get on quickly, as to have 2.9 million Nigerian children living malnourished, that's scary.
Okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review today. We're going to shop it. When we come back, we'll bring in our special features. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results. So
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show, you for that long.
Ladies and gentlemen, number one, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number one on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
Yeah, pole dancer
pole
does
dancer,
not
you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make a relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the better? You see us. What is it?
That woman.
Bam! Bam!
Yeah, today we'll go here.
Hey!
Let's catch up now.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay tuned. Entertainment for pure entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from
Thanks for staying with us. Today, we're discussing something very, very difficult. A tragic accident occurred on Tuesday in Ibadan, your state capital, where a bullet, stray bullet, allegedly fired by a police officer pursuing a suspect, fatally hit a student en route to the West African Senior School certificate examination. Actually on the way to that center to do his exam. The student who was riding with his father and his twin brother was struck on the Gbagi Market Road in the Egbeda local government area, according to eyewitnesses. The victim was headed to sit for the examination being conducted by WAEC. Now, this is one incident too many, and it's quite heartbreaking that several factors led to the death of this child. And ladies of your view, today we usually not have 5 on set, but today we are 5, and I think it was a divine arrangement such that an opportunity for us to lend our voice to these kinds of stories, because a 14-year-old child, I believe that's his age, died in the presence of everybody. And I feel like we have failed that child.
Yeah.
Seeing that child in a school uniform, doing what he's supposed to be doing, and here we are, adults, all around the child till he bled to death. This is a conversation that is necessary to have because, as I said, there are different layers. Please join the conversation. Please join the conversation by calling us 020-1635-2013, 090-2416-344. You can also send us messages on X and also on YouTube. We'll be happy to read your messages. Nima, let me let you start with this. When you saw this video, what came to mind?
Anger. I was angry. And I saw it last night. The video has started trending in the morning, and it was supposed to be that a trigger happy police officer shot at a vehicle. So I was, of course, angry with the police, the system. I hated the fact that Nigerians were writing, Nigeria has happened to the boy. And then the police now sent out their own account of things and showed a much more fuller video of a driver trying to escape being stopped at a police point.
Resisting arrest.
Resisting arrest. Not just resisting arrest, but every attempt to stop that car, he resisted it. And then at the end of it, a young child was at the back seat of that car who was now affected. And my husband and myself yesterday, when I was like, this man just killed his son. My husband's first reaction was, don't you dare say that it's the police who shouldn't have shot in a traffic situation. And I'm like, I'm a lawyer. I can just imagine the police account of things with this video in a court. No, there will be no sentencing for the police officer. If you suspect a crime, you can arrest the person. And whatever means you do at the point when you're suspecting that crime, is considered a defense to prevent that crime. So the police will now get away with it. Imagine them trying to shoot at his tires and then they claim that they shot at the car because, of course, the officer was not able to focus and stop the car. They will get away with it. You can't resist arrest to that extent, and the police at the point will not suspect a bigger crime. Kidnapping happens every day. They will think you're trying to even escape a bigger crime, like you just committed murder. Any other reason would have warranted that. The car was a bit tinted. There's no way. And so, for me, in the entire face of it, I'm just looking out for the mom of that boy, because she might be at home thinking, I've just handed him to his dad. He will act like an adult. And get his son safely to an exam center. I imagine, for a traffic offense, what's the worst that can happen? 50,000 naira fine. Or they even impound your car. You walk home with your 2 legs. Hey. What's the worst that can happen? My driver did the same thing to me. And the police used the bike. The police at Orili, they used a bike with their gun wielding and blocked my car at the Igomo Bridge. And I felt like I drove myself for 10 years. No police used Okada pursue me with gun. They are driving me. Because when they stop my driver, his first reaction is park in the middle of the road. I always say, lay by, park well. Because the people at the back, they did not offend us. We don't have to back up traffic. That's one. I'm teaching him every time. But then I say this fear, it's out of fear. It's another police. I say, Uncle, I don't know the life you lived before you started driving, but you see me, see my hands, all the way to my armpit is clean. Park, let us have a conversation with these people. What's that can happen?
Let me get the other ladies.
See the reaction. Whatever justification of apprehension he had, he overdid it.
Yeah. Let me come to another one's coming.
Yes, for me as well. When I first heard it, I immediately blamed the police, because the first news that went out was that they were on a chase, and a stray bullet caught this little boy on his way to the exams, and I was just angry. Once again, police has taken a young man's life, or a child that's growing up. Like, when will this end? Then to hear this version of the story, and to also watch the video of how much the father was like. I know sometimes, we see cars slow down and then take off, but there's no police trying to stop you. But this one, they had cars trying to stop him on every corner, and he was trying to escape. Honestly, even I was thinking, I said, were these the Yahoo boys that they were pursuing? Like, just watching the video, I thought, no, this must be the criminals in the car, because the way he was insistent on trying to maneuver this and swerve away from this police. Now, a little boy was killed. And everything Nima has said, the same emotions But beyond that, Morayo, while all the screaming and shouting was happening, nobody thought, take this child and take him to the hospital. Nobody, everybody was screaming and shouting. Nobody was looking at that boy and rushing him to the hospital. No first aid, nothing. Everybody was screaming. Police was there. What's the other? Lasma was there. Nobody. The father was there. Nobody thought, let's see what we can do right now. We have failed ourselves in so many. The police is to blame, the father is to blame, and just Nigerians, passers-by, sometimes too were to blame. Nobody knows or understands first aid in a situation like that. So for me, that was even what compounded the sadness for me. I was angry first at how careless the police were and also the father, but just the last hours of that child really broke my heart.
You see, when we talk about education, we think it is by going to school. We think that, oh, if we say we're not educated, it's because we did not go to school. There are things, I feel here is a case of lack of proper education for many people to know how to deal with emergencies. We also do not have awareness on how to manage crisis. When faced with crisis, if somebody faints, what would you do? If there is bleeding, how would you stop it? What's the next line of action? Response to emergency. Emergency response in Nigeria is so poor. We lose too many people. Avoidable death. This is another sad story of avoidable death. Someone, a very young boy, in an avoidable situation that we have lost right now. But what lessons have we learned? Because this is not the first time this is happening. We've had cases of shots being fired. We've had people that stray bullet hit. We've discussed on this table how people, when emergencies happen, what is the next line of action? If you find a boy with bullets wound, what do? Stem the blood, rush to the hospital. We are not, maybe we need, in having those conversations is to help us so that we are able to respond appropriately. The conversation also is very heartbreaking because here is a father who probably has other issues he had not managed, which is influencing what he's doing or what he did. I have had to have conversations with my husband while we're driving, because maybe when a police stops us or somebody just arbitrarily just stop you, you just get angry. It's like, don't get angry. These guys have a right. Because if you approach with anger, you are not able to rationally deal with the situation. Yes, you might have your reasons to distrust the police, but your reaction might have adverse effects. This man's reaction, maybe he's feeling like, I'm rushing my son to write his exams. People just want to disturb me. I beg, I'll deal with you later. And he escapes and escapes and escapes. And at the point of escaping, here is a boy lost. The life of that boy is lost. There are little things. We've seen anger management. Somebody just stands up and punch another person. The person dies. You're wondering, is the anger ability to control your own anger? There are many things that if we don't do, a stitch in time saves 9. This is a life that could have been saved if we had a stitch in time. We've spoken about rubber bullets. We've spoken about ways of de-escalating crisis for our security officials. How do you de-escalate things without resorting to shooting a live bullet? We've had those conversations. How do we deal with medical issues? We've had those conversations. But when we just discuss it like this, talk shop, but we are not properly changing the orientation of Nigerians, educating us to know how to deal with the situation well, we might end up having this happen in a few months' time, and we'll not be like, and we said it that time too. So what did they now do? They didn't do the right thing.
Okay, we'll look at the layers. Just to correct us earlier, we said that last month, actually, your state traffic management authority. So it wasn't last month.
That happened in Ibadan. I am upset beyond words, because this could have been avoided completely if we have paid attention to training our police in such a way that they handle issues correctly on the streets. They have no business going with live ammunition on the streets where civilians are working, because anything can happen. Like Tope rightly mentioned, what happened to rubber bullets if you have to shoot? What happened to tear gas if you have to use something? We have begged them to say many people can be crazy and want to avoid you and want to dodge their responsibility. What happened to taking the plate number and tracing those people back? There was a day I just sat in my house and I saw a text message that came that had violated a traffic offense. They were able to get my plate number, and then I saw an amount I was supposed to pay. I jejely went and I paid it. I didn't even know where I had that infraction. But what happened to using technology to solve some of these issues so that innocent people will not be caught in the crosshairs? What happened to that? We can't keep saying one thing over and over again, and our police keeps repeating the same mistake. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. It seems like the system is not paying attention on how they can revamp themselves and learn. This is 2025. We cannot have stray bullets kill somebody. Whether even the person is a criminal, till the court says you are a criminal, you are not a criminal. That's what our law says. So even if the person had a gun in his car and he was running, he was a criminal, you have not taken him to the court of law to judge him. So you cannot kill him. Just like that. This is a democracy. We can't keep having this issue over and over again. The parents, that man, as far as I'm concerned, is a madman. And God will judge him, because I don't know how he's going to look at his wife and explain what happened. How do you have children in your car and you are dodging police like are you a thief? You are dodging police like you carried something in your, like there's an exhibit in your car. You have kids who are writing exams. What happens to parking your car, attending to, you can't beg them, okay, sorry, I didn't know it was wrong, or whatever it is, but these are children. Those police people are not mad. These are children. They are going to write exam. I can leave my car here, can I use bike and take them to their hall and come back? Let's sort this. What happened to that? You have children in your car. Your parental brain is not working, that your first responsibility is to protect your children. You see police people carrying gun up and down, chasing you. When I saw that, like Miriam rightly said, I felt it was the Yahoo boy that they were chasing. Only for me to realize that he's the father.
So can we put in perspective that this was not a stray bullet?
It wasn't a stray bullet. It wasn't.
This was a target shot.
Well, he missed the target. That's another issue.
They were shooting at him.
Very cool.
Was shooting at the tire.
For what?
Listen, they're trying to demobilize. The police. Wait.
For what?
Wait, calm down. There is a police that sees.
You want to use a gun?
Let me put it in context, please. There's a police officer that is seeing a car that is tinted. I can't see what's inside. I don't know if you are drug dealers. I don't know if you are doing anything. I don't know if you even kidnapped children. I have no clue. It's tinted, and I'm trying to stop you. And you're resisting it. You keep resisting. You even knock down something. You've seen the video. Was that a human being?
You need to put this also. First of all, he was coming on the wrong side of the
one way. That was the probable cause. Yes, you were on the one way. I hit something. Was it a human being? He wasn't sure. He hit something on the curb.
The police was stationed. They were positioned waiting for anybody to approach from that wrong way. That one way happens on the Abeokuta Road. That collar bus stop. They do it. So you want to jump. The traffic is going to use the U-turn at Abule Egba. Police will wait for you. So they were waiting. And as soon as his car faced the one way, they blocked him. What did he do? He reverses and faces every other blockade on the way, including other police vehicles, other civilian vehicles. He could have killed other people with his car. He scrapes his car off the, what's it called, the block of the pavement. Removes the entire bumper, fender, and continues. So they started to chase him. Now, a police officer telling a court under trial that I thought he was a criminal.
And he had reason to
believe.
He
will just be going home to his family. That's the thing.
Because in trying to shoot the tire also, to demobilize because that child obviously was sitting at the back left.
The thing to demobilize him, if you cannot get somebody to put a speed breaker iron that they usually use for in front of him, is to shoot at the car.
Can I ask a question?
So the father is the person me I'm asking. Is education Abi? What's the English you just spoke? You spoke one English.
Is a madman. But I want to.
We have to go on a break. We have to go on a break. Let's this think in a bit. We'll come back. We'll continue the conversation. Stay with us, Brother.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Does your tooth?
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam results. So
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
Okay, that's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show, Ifadala.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef.
Thanks for staying with us. So, this is a really painful conversation to have. There are many layers to this, and I think it's been pointed out. I'd like to reiterate some of those things. Number 1, let's start with the father. Yes, obviously he had anger issues. Unattended anger issues could have caused him such that you see the police and you're already confrontational, or you refuse to stop and listen to what the police is saying, or even try to address their concerns. Secondly, the police also missed their targets. That's an issue. Because if you're a trained police officer, you shouldn't miss a target. If you're trying to target the tires, is the tire you should be targeting. How in the world do you then shoot at a tire and it hits a passenger on the back seat? There's a problem.
The fact is that he didn't miss the car. Moral, all I'm thinking is, we want this police officer tried. But are we going to say that this police officer does not have a defense?
Oh, it certainly has.
Clearly,
You've established
clearly.
that.
So now, I want to talk about...
Let me talk with you, and I'll come back to you.
Okay, so because I feel that it's the easiest person to blame here, the easiest group of people to blame here are the police officers. And that's because we've had several stories about them. It's easy to just blame them. Thank God there were videos. If there weren't videos, we would have had probably a case of lynching of the officers, or a case of jungle justice happening one way or the other, burn down of police station. But here is the thing. We are not addressing the massive elephant inside the room. People have killed police officers, FRSC officials. They have killed last mile officials by not stopping when they are being stopped. They run through them, broken legs, loss of lives of law enforcement agencies, because people refuse to stop when they say stop. You feel like they just want to beg you for money. You feel they just want to disturb you. They are going to just delay you. You are not a criminal, but you don't stop. Without realizing that the moment you don't stop, you are giving them validity. There's this justifiedness within them to do everything to stop you, because if you don't have something to hide, you will stop. So this, for me, is something, this is a major lesson we need to learn. When a security official flags you, stop. If you have committed a crime, explain, stop. If they are going to fine you, they'll fine you. But here, is irresponsibility that has been happening around us a lot. Some drivers even enjoy it. They feel it is like a game. Mo dodge. I showed him. He tried to solve me, me. That, as in, like, I'm wondering, what are we doing? And many people do it. This is a very terrible lesson that has cost a life for us to learn what we have learned in the first place.
Now, I'm looking at a very foolish decision to escape a police and smashing car to this point, but the post gunshot action is even more provoking. So this father jumps out of the car, obviously confronted the police officer, because by the time the video showed him, he had a torn shirt. He kept going car from car, supposed to holding his child and asking for help.
At that point, he wasn't.
He mad from house.
At that point,
now from house,
seeing his child
man mad come outside. Because I don't understand it. For me, I say one thing all the time. If Peking go keep papa and mama at birth, now mama they kill. Do you know how many women die on the hospital bed? To now have your child die anti-clockwise because of the fault of a man that you married and born the child for, it's not something that I find forgivable. Because the mother of this child is somewhere thinking my child is safe, and the father has decided to be an idiot.
He's a madman.
At the time there was a gunshot, you never reach where you go stop the car and come out and ask for help and rush. My actions have just led to this accident. Police officer take car, take everything, give them food, but my child to the nearest hospital.
But you know why he will not want to do that?
Because they shout, they fight police. They don't kidnap police. Kill your
Let me just add something. You know why he will not want to do that? He may take the child to the hospital, and before he comes out, the police people have disappeared, and he will not have anybody to hold. This is Nigeria, and it happens. And if you clearly watch, don't you see? Like he was not rational from the beginning. You expected him to be rational at the end. When he feels like he has lost something, he will not be. So in his mind, if I don't hold this person down now, that is it.
Okay, point taken. Mariam, let me
well, in explaining that, I also feel that he wasn't rational. And for me, I will even separate it from the fact that he was trying to escape the police. I can imagine being faced with your dying child. I mean, even in circumstances that are not as dramatic as this, we've seen people act in such a very irrational manner. But that is where I now called passers-by. That was where someone else who was a bit more rational should have stepped in. Why also the Oyo State road safety people as well, because they also have training, that their training could have kicked in to see what can we do to save the life of this child. So we didn't see rationality anywhere. We just went crazy back and forth. Now, you know, with what you said earlier, Tope, you know, I couldn't agree with you more that the issues we have, which is Nigerians always trying to see how much faster they are than the police. You run away from them, you feel that you're smart. That's true. But having said that, there's also another reason. So which is really a question of the chicken or the egg. There have been cases of police recklessness and, you know, abuse of power that has caused many Nigerians to imbibe behaviors like this. You know, where you have seen well-behaved, decent Nigerians who have been brutalized and harassed because they actually stopped, because they actually
things are planted even to the car.
or planted. So you have now put in the minds of Nigerians that if you are the one that escapes, you are the smarter one. So we're not justifying anything that has happened here, but we must talk to ourselves.
Everybody.
There is the root cause. Something happened somewhere that we have now become crazy police officers or crazy pedestrians or commuters on the road. There's a reason why that man behaved the way he behaved. He thought he has seen that many times you can get away with that behavior. And that was why he did that. So now this conversation really is, we're talking to every one of us.
Yeah. Okay, let me take a carry from the UK. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Hello, good morning, ladies.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, I just want to make my contribution.
Please.
What happened in Ibadan yesterday is tragic. But saying the policeman did the right thing, one of the lawyer, I think she said the man will be free from the court. That's wrong. Not. That bullet would have hit any at the opposite direction. It was a target, not a straight bullet. but he shouldn't have done that. The fact that, like, the man, yeah, he should have used a bullet. They could have blocked that car with any other car. He had a loophole that he tried to maneuver. You can, like Nigeria, you know how we are in your country, our country over there. Everybody is just angry. Everyone is angry for not just cause. Now taking the life of the child, you, the father, and the passerby, not rescuing that little boy. Something else. I mean,
Thank you very much, Mr. Kerry. You know, so I'll come to you in a second, because when I watched that video yesterday, I couldn't sleep. I was just watching that child in his blue and white uniform, bleeding to death.
Explain again.
And I was like, this child is exactly where he's supposed to be, in his father's car, going to write his examination in his father's car. Where else is safe for a child to be?
His first protector.
Where else?
In his father's car. So I would say that only people who have something to hide run when a security official stops you. It's not today that we've driven and mistakenly entered one way, or the police are doing their stop and search in different areas and they stop you. And like Nima said from the beginning, many of these drivers, when you first of all employ them, depending on where they are coming from, they always want to, dodge the police. I keep shouting, stop. When they stop you, stop. Where are you rushing to? Are we not going to the house? Is it your house? Are we not going for the meeting? Is it not my meeting? If I'm late, I'm late. Stop, right? So that man apparently, whether it's trauma or baggage of old experiences, something has happened and we need to change that. That's one. Two, when I saw how people were just roaming around, nobody was going to help the boy, I understood perfectly, because good Samaritans in Nigerians suffer. When another person who had maybe looked at the child and said, let's do something, let's take this child to the hospital, carry the child to the hospital, and the child dies in your hand. They hold you. They hold you.
Because when I was in NYSC, know that there's camera.
Yes.
So you don't want to take that responsibility. Yes. Then if you had known that there's camera, maybe you can
go. So they will hold you. They will hold you there, and if, except God wants to save you, you may even go to jail for that child because you were just trying to help. When I was doing my NYSC, I remembered I did it with we were doing our what's this thing that we do where we were visiting prisons. So I worked with lawyers. CDS, thank you, my darling. I worked with lawyers there. We'll go to the prisons, and we saw an elderly man and his son who have been in prison for many years. We're trying to sort their case, and one of the things when we started asking questions, what happened to you? He said they are fishermen. No, they are from TV in Benue State. They are fishermen. They went to the river one day and they saw a floating body. And they say, what happened here? They carried this body straight to the hospital. That was how they jailed them, accused them of killing the person and bringing the body to the hospital. Then they went to the morgue, and that's how they landed in prison for years. Father and son, elderly man and son. So many people have seen things where they tried to help, but at the end of the day, it backfires on you. So now you will not blame anybody for facing their direction and not wanting to help that boy. If the father in question cannot think of helping his son, is it me that I'm passing that I want to help the son?
You see this thing you just said. You see this, and it's so painful to use these words. The whole Nigeria failed that child.
True.
Their entire system failed that child.
From the past.
Everything, every fiber that makes us a Nigerian failed that child.
We all
because it's multifaceted.
Yes.
So many things have caused that child's death.
It's deep.
And it's so painful.
It's deep. But can I ask a question quickly, right? At what point does our police shoot where they are civilians? At what point do they shoot? Even if they were certain that those people were criminals, looking at that area, that was a busy area. Were they right to have shot in that place?
They shouldn't have.
So I also feel like shooting might not have been the case, but we also are dealing with a lot of criminality happening in recent times with the kidnapping and banditry. A lot of things are happening, so they can feel this. The person that is doing like this must be someone with something to hide. It brings me to community policing. Now, if this man actually lives within that area, obviously doing school runs in that area means he goes through that area often. We know ourselves. We know that car. Most people, I know security on my route to my children's school. I know the security officials there. I see them, I greet them. I know they know me, they know my car already. Even if they don't see me inside, they would flag down the car to just say hello. When we build community around our policing system, when we have relationship, if one person goes haywire one day, you have a relationship with them. You be like, that boy, we know in house, we will catch him later, because we know ourselves. They are, like Mariam said, it's multifaceted. But if we do not address all of these issues from the point of view to help us get better, we will still face it. We faced it before, we'll face it again.
Let me take this caller. Mohammed has been holding for a while. Good morning, Mohammed. You're live. I'll come to you, Nima.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Mohammed. I'm calling from Kashi. I want to address this issue from three main angles: the police angle, the father, and the society in general. First and foremost, the policeman did not follow the rule of engagement.
He did not what?
I have military experience for over 30 years.
Okay.
And there's what we call rule of engagement.
Rules of engagement.
Number one, what was the nature of the patrol they are carrying out?
Thank you.
It's a traffic patrol, they're not
Yes.
for security, for armed robbery or whatever.
Okay.
The first thing, when you accustom somebody and you stop the person at the roadblock, the policeman is to first and foremost give one shot. If the man did not stop, you aim at the tire. Or number two, you need to look at the situation where you are operating. If I shoot, will it affect the crowd? Have you the policeman has not had the option of chasing the man to try to track him down? No, he has not done all those things. If he's supposed to shoot, he's supposed to shoot up. The person in question here is not a threat to any security. He's not a threat to him. He is not attacking them. He's not firing any shot at them.
Exactly.
So the question of shooting at all is debatable, depending on the reason of the judge in this case. But according to the rule of engagement, first of all, you have 3 warning shots. One up, one last warning, and the other one you aim at the driver and not just sporadically. Number two, there is a saying Abdullah used to say, his objective memory. He says it's only a foolish man that argues with a man that carries a rifle.
There is a gun, yeah.
The father is a madman.
Madman.
But again, you also look at the situation of life. Yoruba people used to say, Akoba Adaboloma Yari. That was exactly what caught up with him. He was very, very, very careless in the first place to have spread up. The only thing he could have done is to please, my son is writing an exam. Look at him at the back. Those people would have even listened to him.
Rational.
But he knows that something that God had it was going to happen. But if not, he was very, very wrong. Not to have stopped in the first place. And thereby endangering the life of his children. Number 3, we are talking of the passers-by. You know, in Nigerian society, we have a problem. When something happens, we have lost our humanity. What we are interested in is how to get a video and post it on our status.
True.
Or to gossip about it. That was what was happening there. And number 2, we are afraid of being implicated if actually we get involved at the end of the day, like one of your panels is said to. And finally, too, the government, the society has failed that particular care, just like you said. In a very same society, you have cameras that can easily snap that particular person. They can trace him to his house. You don't need to shoot the person or change the person.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. I have to let you go this way because I have to go on a very short break. But thank you very much, Mohammed, for your views. It's going to short break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company not just in Nigeria but throughout continental Africa to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 20 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's
I can
all
do
we can
Nigeria,
take.
but I choose
Hey,
to
Jackie,
stay.
close the show. You for that long.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
Yeah, pole dancer does not strip.
You're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No. Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the better? You scissors. What is his name?
That woman.
Bam! Bam! Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey!
Let's catch up now.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay tuned to Entertainment with Pure Entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it. You'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone. So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry of Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Brand new studio, brand new set, a new face, but still your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a fresh new energy, new vibe. You smell that?
Now that's the smell of tasty, tantalizing food from our various chefs.
And when it comes to sports updates with insightful analysis, the place you want to be is Wake Up Nigeria.
That's right. Every second there's a fresh occurrence, and every minute there's a story to tell. Keep abreast of happening.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to be opening our phone lines again for viewers to call in. Let us know your thoughts on this topic. Let's take a view on social media. Go ahead, Nima.
Let me just quickly say this. You know, when we see other crimes and the criminals get away and worse things happen, we then blame the police. That what could you have done? Could you have done anything differently? Which is why I'm saying this. As much as it's tough to bear, to hear, the police officer shot, and it could have been any other crime. Once a car was stopped on the bridge in was Lasso, that's the Obadore bridge, a car was stopped. And that car had been passing every morning. When the police officer stopped, they greet good officer, good morning officer, and then they tip, and then they go. And so this particular day, one of the officers in the team was just provoked, and they searched the car. They found bodies, young toddlers on their way to school, children on their way to school who had been kidnapped, murdered, and they were in the boot. So imagine that person had kidnapped someone and he was trying to run away, or had just murdered someone and was trying to escape, and he got away with it, or maybe would have, a lot of things would have come to our head. So imagine that with a fully tinted car like the one this man drove, that the police could not see, he continued this race and he got away. And the video surfaced that the person got away. We would have a different conversation. So true. You know, it is one thing and the other. That's why whenever the police are putting together their excuses, we should be careful that we are not on the other side of it. As a parent, I am thinking, the only person who knows the facts, okay, it's police officer that is stopping me, and the Oyster people, or your state traffic management people that are stopping me. I can see that. In my car, I have my kids. I know that. As a father, I'm driving. What's the crime that's in my car?
Exactly.
I'm the only one with full view of what is happening, and I need to be most rational at that time. That's why nobody saying that the police officer shot and shot right. We're saying if they shot, would there be probable cause for that? They had good reasons to have shot, and they would table over 20.
Let me take this call from Pastor Kane. They're calling from Ajegunle. Thanks for calling your line.
Hello, Murayo.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
I said when I saw this video last night, I couldn't sleep. I'm full of tears.
Yeah.
I have experienced such a thing in Second Rainbow, where there's some police officer from Orile Bishop on Sunday with my children, with my wife, would gone. A policeman would gone, facing me with gun. My son, one of my sons, my second son, video it. I have video on my phone. I waited for them. I argued with that police officer. Now, why will you use gun? Holding me, disturbing me to go to church on Sunday. I'm going to church. What is my offense? He said I took one way. I told him I did not took one way. You want to start money for me, and you are trying to delay me. And the way he saw me talking, before the second, one of the officers said I should go. That is one step. The police is for them to save lives of property. Is that also?
Yeah.
Murayo, please, Lema is there. Lema is a lawyer.
Nema.
There is a law that says it is no better for a criminal to escape for an innocent soul
Always.
to lose his life.
Always.
Did you understand that what I'm saying?
Yes, we do.
Now, you now shoot if the man is mad, as we know that the man is mad. Is it not police for us to save life?
To have sense.
Of innocent citizens?
Yep.
Does them supposed to mad me? Are they not professional?
Exactly.
The misbehavior of police is too rampant. It's too much. We must honor that. We must speak out.
Thank you very much, Pastor Kane. Thank you very much, Pastor Kane. Yes,
so from X, I've got Ogumola Emmanuel. Says, no policeman should fire live ammunition unless fired upon. The police is guilty of manslaughter as well as the father. I strongly believe they cannot something their way out of any situation if they are calm. And then Immaculate Boy says, ask a Nigerian policeman on the beat each day, or I guess that's what he's trying to say. If he waves at 100 vehicles to pull over, only about 20 to 30% obey. Others flee. Running away from police, the VIO is a norm on our roads. And besides, there's also car chase in the US.
If someone says, well filled the boy, Peseta Phonics says, what happened to snapping the plate number instead of chasing the man to the point of shooting? Madness everywhere. Sir Carl Michael says, with the high rate of kidnapping and a tinted fleeing car, find X.
Yes, Sakura Michael also says, waiting at the
last question is an equation.
Okay, find
with
X.
a tinted car and a racing car and the rate of kidnapping.
What's the gap?
Find X.
Say the police can have any reason. They might be suspecting kidnapping. Why was he running? So please don't blame the police for the shooting. Ghania says everyone has certainly gone mad in Nigeria. We're always on the edge, ready to fight. Gas boost at any slight situation. Road rage is dangerous. Please avoid it.
Olusegun from Ijayi. Let me take Olusegun's call. Come on, Olusegun, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Calling from Ijayi.
Go ahead, sir.
All right, so I just want to correct certain things from the woman on Ija. Okay. Police is a friend. If the first child is a madman, a police on the street is not a madman. It's a professional. The police acted like that. It's not a professional. You are professional. You have people on the people. Why shooting? That's the thing to do. And to the other side of it, that people are there. They are, but they don't care. Nobody is rescuing the child. Let me give you a just very short story. There was an accident one day. I was inside the car with my dad. We entered the scene. People were there. Nobody is willing to assist. We assisted the accident victims. On our way down to the road safety were there. So the police met us there. The road safety told the police to escort us down to the hospital so that the hospital will attend to those victims. On getting there, immediately the police they asked to follow us down there, arrested my dad instantly. Yes, I was the talking live. They arrested my dad, and my dad was the one that eats those people. Imagine, if not for the divine intervention of those safety that came on time, what would have happened? What would have happened? So nobody is ready to assist anybody on the road. Nobody. The police are even complicating the issue more. Why? Okay, fine. He went through the wrong way, maybe one way or the other. You have the plate number of that person. Exactly. Why don't you pick up the plate number? Try and as much as possible to locate the person's house and arrest.
Thank you very much, Olusegun. You see, I think Nima said something earlier that let us not be on the wrong side. God forbid it is your child that was kidnapped. And the police is chasing them and then shot at the driver and then demobilize him. The conversation will be different. Or let us say that this person committed a crime. I'm just saying that, listen,
but let me just
the point I'm trying to make is that as a Nigerian, we like to see things from the lens that we are. But the truth is that there are different lenses to this. This man could have actually been a criminal. Maybe not children in the car. Maybe his cohorts are in the car. Maybe they have drugs in the so we don't know what it is, and maybe they had just committed a crime and they have somebody's head in the back seat. We don't know these things. So if that bullet had gone, maybe the conversation would be different. But because it's an innocent life, that's why I'm saying this way. It's possible.
Let me put the conversation again, so in case they didn't hear me, I've not justified the shooting. I have just said that shooting, he might get away with a good defense and this video.
At the courts.
He didn't stop at the first stop. He went and hit into the barricade of the road. He went and hit into a police Range Rover car. He continued before a gunshot happened. The police can't go away. Go and read your Police Act and our criminal code again. Upon suspicion of a crime, that's where the defense would come. Charge and bail all of the time. I'm reading the comments and I'm wondering, I should say what you want to hear and tell you that police officer will go to jail, manslaughter. As if he had a defense lawyer, he won't get away with it.
I was also going to say that we had a caller, Mohammed, who seemed quite knowledgeable on the rules of engagement. So just to answer the question, so that we're not constantly, as it affects us, then we'll answer from that point of view. There are rules of engagement, and I am sure that those are the questions that will be asked of him. How did you engage a fleeing suspect? What did you suspect him of? Were you supposed to have shot in the air? Did you do that? We shot at the tires. Did you do that? You know, those are the things. So what we will be insisting on is that the police always make sure that when they
when they are doing their job, they follow the proper rules of engagement.
Yeah.
And if he's found wanted that he did not follow it, that's how we can hold on to him. Now, incidents happen, freak accidents happen, things that should not happen to good people, bad things happen to good people. We understand. And for me, that child, that innocent child, bad things happen to him. No fault of his, but fault of those who should have protected him.
No better.
And for me, the biggest person right now, the most guilty of them all, is the father. I'm so sorry, is the father. The father did not think of his son's safety. Many times as parents, we put ourselves in very uncomfortable situations because we know that our children's safety comes first. You know, and he didn't do that. And I'm also, you know what makes me sad, Mariah? This story makes me sad in too many ways. He must have been at the back of the car, wondering why his father was going back and forth and just trying, you know, already afraid.
Maybe even saying, Daddy, stop. You see some parents that you can't talk to.
For me.
The boy could have been saying, Daddy, stop now. Daddy, and that's it. Because you know some people are built with all the knowledge.
Yeah.
In a situation your child is telling, okay, you say, shut up.
So I feel that one of the things that, one, we are all on the same page. The father was reckless, and of course he would face the wrath of the law, which also puts the family in another level of crisis. Peradventure is the major breadwinner, and they have other children that we know there's another problem on ground. But aside from that is the fact that we now have a lot of the callers have brought to fore two issues that are on ground that we need to deal with to prevent this from happening. Number one, stop evading when police officers try to stop you. Number two, police officers should stop recklessly stopping people on the road. Because if you stop me and I give you my documents, and then you hold my documents and walk away to go and stop other vehicles, it has happened to me. You obviously are just delaying me. So you've seen, I tell you, insurance is there. This one is there. You collect everything, you say, I'm coming. Then you go. And then you come back and I'm wondering what's going on. And it happens to me day in, day out, day in, day out. The third time, the next time somebody is stopping me, I'll just feel like, this guy's just, I have all my documents. I have everything. When you check everything in the car and you say, it seems, press brake so that I can see if your brake light at the back is working. You know they are picking at straws. And it happens all the time. There was somebody at that party yesterday. He's a community member of the Billionaire Conclave who lost his wife on Christmas Day, few years ago, at a gunshot in Aja. The man was at the party yesterday. I know him, I know the wife. And it was just he was reckless.
No, he was
targeted.
He was a reckless police officer.
He was drunk, and it was based on bribe. So we have those two issues. If we want to solve this problem long term, we need to deal with both issues, and it will start with the police. Because if the police earn our respect, we will not evade them. If you only stop me for stop and search and you check and you let me go, if you stop asking me for bribe, I will not look at you with disrespect. When we deal with these two things, all the other fringe, all the other things, it will fall in line. So let's do what we need to do so that we don't fail another child in future. Okay, let me go and prevent accidental discharge and all those other things from happening.
Let me go on a very short break. When we come back and continue this conversation, stay with us. We'll be right back.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company not just in Nigeria but throughout continental Africa to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jammies. So
By 220 or 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jammies.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show, you Father.
Ladies and gentlemen, at number 1, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musiki.
Thanks for staying with us. Lisa, you're going to say something?
Yeah, so this is showing us every day with every issue that we talk about that we need our systems to work, and they must work effectively. If we had proper systems where there are cameras, where we have things that that are needed for this sort of things, we will not have issues where people are trying to run and dodge, because they know that no matter how you run, they will find you in your house. One day they'll just come and pick you back. We have that. Secondly, we need to begin to talk to our people. We need to learn a lot of patience. I always tell people, I say, when the policeman is stopping you, you are dodging. If you drive to the front and you have an accident, you will come down. Somebody bashes your car, you will come down. That time you don't want to waste to engage with a policeman, you will waste it if something happens on the road. So we need a lot of patience as Nigerians. When you are on the road, please calm down. If they stop you, please stop. The only way that you're running is because you're a criminal. And if anything happens while you're running, you will bear it. You bear the responsibility. So we need to start teaching our people. Exactly. We need to start teaching our people that, right? We also need proper training for our police. There are places you do not shoot. You have to weigh the terrain. You have to check, because there was a time we had customs chasing smugglers, and we know that smugglers, they go with guns and everything. And then the customs, this particular incident, the customs were holding themselves back from shooting because it was a busy market that those smugglers were, passing through. And the smugglers escaped. But is it not better that they have escaped than you have killed innocent people? So that proper training is, that's what we're appealing to the governments for. We need to train our police properly. Then, consequences and stricter penalty for those happy trigger police. And I understand that sometimes they are carried away. Sometimes they also have anger issues where they are frustrated. We're stopping, you're not stopping. I have to just do something to show you that I have the power. Please, in their training, they should master how to manage their anger, because this is about protecting lives of the citizen first, and not just about how the person has reacted to you and your anger. So while we talk to our people as human beings to understand that when a security agency stops you, please stop and respect them and answer them. If you need to beg, if you need to beg. If you need to lie down on the floor, lie down on the floor. If you have to get to somewhere. If they give you your ticketing, please go and pay responsibly. Next time, don't do that. Let's also hold the police responsible for how they carry out their crisis management. Everybody has to work together in this.
Let me take this call. Hold it for a while. Good morning. Thanks for calling. Sorry for keeping you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is my personal experience to you.
Oh, you have to speak
up. About a year or two ago, I was taking a friend's son to Ikorodu for an examination. And on that exit, around the weekend, there was a day. What I said to him, approach the police officers on that road. They advised me to park at a group. They put myself and the boy who was going to write an exam in their vehicle, and they went through BLTV to draw there. That man is a certified male. He doesn't need any examination. And for the rest of his life, he will have himself to blame. I pity the wife. This is not exonerating the police. Like Nima said, the police officer will have an opportunity in court to defend himself. That child is dead. That opportunity. We parents, we road users, we need to be very careful. You don't argue with a man who has
a gun.
Thank you, Shegun.
I want to, because it seems like I've supported the police, I wanted to talk about the training, because Dr. had mentioned how this is a trend. We all experience it. I do experience it because I drive myself a lot for a very long distance. I don't see too many of it. Our police officers truly need a kind of training. This morning, the police officer that I thought was the most senior because of the ranking I saw on him sat at the bridge on Igomu Bridge. It was the National Theatre. Folded his trouser to knee, had a cigarette in his hand, talking to the Agbero boys. They were smoking.
Jesus.
Just this morning, I kept saying, how can this be the face of our police?
Openly.
Now, as early this morning before, just let's say 10 past 6, because I left home before 6 today. That is one example. Another example is that even if a police officer is doing a stop and search, if you park a car and an approaching, for those ones that stop at Anthony, an approaching truck that will bend and tilt like this to turn that place is coming, and you know you did not park that car well, can you at least tell the driver of the car, move forward to safety, then leave the car there, you walk away, leave the person in the car, go with their papers? They do that. So we know our police officer, we can, in fact, a full day lecture not reach their matter. One night I went for an event, I had my son in the car. I think I left my son at your house, and I came back, I picked him, and I was going home, myself and my driver. He stops, because I know the car papers are okay. I left him to handle the matter with the police officers. I sat in the car with my son. I kept looking at my son because at 10 minutes, the guy has not come back. But my driver, thankfully, as in Sabio, make another talk, another thing, doesn't ever go into the lay-by. If a police officer is stopping you, park well. But that's not his tradition. He had left us in the middle of the road as if it was a 5 seconds conversation. 10 minutes, we were there. At this time, the downfall drivers were backing up left and right, and I was thinking, how do I go and attend to this situation? Because my son
is in the car.
Is in the car. So I stayed with my son, thinking I was doing the best I could in the middle of the road. After about 10 minutes, I come down, I look at back, I see my driver conversing, doing like this. Apparently was saying, settle us now, your paper complete and so what, and he kept saying, madam is at the back. I come down, I said to the police officer, good evening, sir, what's the problem? This is my kindest, nicest language, you know me when I'm provoked. And then he comes, no problem. I said, well, then why are you with my car documents? Is there a problem? At that point, I flared up. I said, come, officer, look at my son. I have an 8-year-old boy in the car. Look at where you parked us. Trucks are backed up. Downfall has reversed. Now, when they kill us, you go do your work. Sorry, madam. He gives me my papers. And I walk, I go away. Obviously provoked. So we know that if we do a lecture for the police officers based on every Nigerian experience, we will not live here today. But as a parent in that situation, who was my priority?
Your child.
I have comments. Ehi here says, the caller is right, but from a military perspective, you point your gun in someone's direction, know you can hit a person. That's why you don't shoot at tires where you are not allowed to shoot the person. And then he says the pregnant was also killed by a tire shooter. Then he also says how policing is done everywhere. When the suspect runs, you run after him. You only produce your gun if he's armed. Do our police even know that you can't shoot where there are bystanders?
You know while we're talking, our police have some of the best trainings. I mean, I've gone to quite a few seminars that different countries actually come, they send their guys to us to learn. So we do have the ability and we have the training. But see, I was thinking to myself, I said, the mad father that we are talking about exists in every other country in the world. That kind of man. He lives in America, he lives in Canada. Everywhere. The police that was trigger happy lives in Canada, lives in the US. The same behavior could have happened. But you know what they don't have that is different, that is not similar? It's a system. Something systemic such that even the driver, the angry, crazy father knows that, okay, I can be arrested for endangering the life of my child. I'll have points on my driver's license where to be seized for life. They can find me. There's a system so that these people will know where I live. They will find me. Let me just park the car. But because the Nigerian system is such that you know you can evade arrest, nobody is going to check for you. Now, maybe in a city like Abuja, Lagos, and where they are putting the systems in place where you can get text messages, other states are still working up to getting to that point. So you will evade arrest and nothing will happen. Now, the police officer knows also that if I barricade you, I can put this. You don't give them. You're not well equipped with not just technology, but even items to stop, to barricade such that he can't get through it. Yeah. We don't have those things. So when the system starts to even equip the police, where you can protect their own lives also, they have to fire because that's all they've got. So the point is that the system has actually failed everybody.
And you know, talking about the failure of the system, the failure of the country really from administration to administration with the United States police and all the issues that they have with black people, it brought about them using body cameras. So if there's a problem, let's see how we can resolve it. Please, what have we resolved since
this problem started?
We'll be talking about this problem. The same problem, the same issue, but we have not done anything to improve on it. So what are we really doing? We have complained many times of police officers just being overzealous. What do we have body cameras? We have talked about commuters just driving off anyhow and not doing what they are, stopping at the stop signs, not doing anything. Well, to be honest, we can say that we've seen on transportation side that in some places when you cross the red line, the red light, you may get you may get an information to say that you've done something. But yes, and that's just Lagos, well, maybe Abuja as well. But see, there's so many things that we have not worked, we have not fixed, and it's like that for almost every other sector in our country. The other day, this is a little bit of a side. There was a video of how somebody was doing something in another country and says, look at how they're doing this in another country, removing tiles, without having to break it. That see how they have sort of progressed. Nigerians, where are you? And the thought is, yes, they have progressed because every time they see a problem, they're constantly looking for how to solve it. We just see a problem and say, by God's grace, that's how we do it. And that's how it is forever and ever. Until somebody now travels from the country of wherever we want to, from China or forever, and then we'll be hailing them. Things that we can fix ourselves. So we need to always look at, so sometimes, yes, we have so many problems in Nigeria, we have so many challenges. Let's look at them beyond the problems and challenges and look at them as opportunities to provide solutions so that life will be better for everyone.
Let's take a few more comments and we wrap up on this.
Adebakwe says, and when we protest, they bring out their guns again. But this man is wrong. The only reason I reserve my comment for the man is to wait and hear his side of the story too, for the sake of balance. It is also possible that he has had past experience with the police, but no matter what,
haven't we all?
We've all had that. But no matter what, he was wrong. Don't let us put gender into this thing. It could be man or woman. It's just attitude. Because I was saying, I'd said that he had just caused the mother her child with his stupidity. And I was saying that if Pikin go keep parent, now mama they kill, that's the entire pregnancy, labor, all of that the mother had gone through, and raise a child to almost full ripeness. So it's an anti-clockwise thing. It's something that my head cannot wrap around. Oh, you are almost at the only issue. The boy is writing his WAEC.
No, it's his elder brother that's writing the WAEC. He is in SS1. He just escorted.
Oh, goodness, God. So that's the border that was hitting the car, that was reacting. That one was even saying to the father, attend to the boy. The father did not even know what boy was fighting. Officers.
I wish I didn't see that picture because I couldn't get that thing off my mind.
No, that was the part that killed me.
I was like,
the fact that nobody was attending to him.
It's teaching. Like, you need to see. We lost someone yesterday, a driver yesterday in an accident, and the driver had to go to 3 hospitals. The FRSC, they refused. He was crushed in the car. His leg was crushed. They first thought he was dead. They couldn't pick him out of the car. FRSC came. We don't have tools. The boyfriend, the man died later in the night yesterday, but it was avoidable. There are many avoidable deaths that happen in Nigeria. Tools to extract someone from the car. How do you cut through a car when accident takes place? How many FRSC officials have tools in their car that they can use saw to cut through the car? So before they will take the driver to the first hospital, second hospital, by the time he goes to the hospital, he has lost a lot of blood.
I hung on a tree.
I know.
For my accident, they ripped me open and lifted me in a helicopter to a hospital, for heaven's sake.
Thank God you're not a regular
I'm a regular
citizen,
African. Immigrants.
Thank God it didn't happen here. We wouldn't have met you.
Then they finally got to the third hospital where they accepted the driver and then they did not have blood.
Yes,
little things that cost people their lives. So if the bullet had hit that boy and the boy was bleeding, did we check that the boy was alive?
Nobody checked.
Is that consciousness? How do we deal with emergencies? Everybody hold camera. Everybody is shouting.
There were many officials there.
Carrying that boy and saying,
officials
let's get
one
to the
person not to prioritize the
that's
body.
what I said earlier. How could you have professionals
and we still
like
have
that?
the story
in my own small knowledge, just so that we give people information. In that kind of situation, God forbid we're in it. But the very first thing you need to do is find something to tie the wound, put pressure to stop the bleeding. Like,
and then tie
seriously put that pressure and then tie it. Carry the child or whoever it is to the hospital because the person is losing blood. It's not anything that killed that child. It's loss of blood.
These ones that were arguing is at fault.
On that body.
Now it's everything. Somebody was shouting "Aloyibo." The other people were shouting. The father was eating cow up and down. They were dragging police. This stupid bunch of all of them. Nobody puts that boy in perspective.
All of them.
But you see the one that pains me the most, the person whose child was on the ground too was foolish.
That's the difference between the father and the mother in this case. Because
That's why what we're thinking.
The woman, we don't they hold the
it's
pikin.
not really about that situation because I know your husband carries the children matter on their head. And my husband even does more for children than about children than me. So it's not really about gender. It's about recklessness. And
you also teach us that
I'm saying families should open up the conversation. Oga, when I tell you to slow down, see what happened to this boy.
Okay.
You know, be able, or madam, when I say that you get angry, I have seen a woman one-on-one angry and brought the husband's clothes outside, put it outside, pour kerosene, burn it, brought mortar, smashed the husband's windscreen.
Well,
so we have anger management problems that people don't face, and this can happen.
So that fire,
this can happen. Who's watched Why Did I Get Married? There was a scene where they were talking about how they lost their child. Janet Jackson had put their child in a car and had forgotten to strap the child in, and she had got in an accident and the child died. The man seemed like he had forgiven her, but he was holding it against her forever. I cannot understand it. So sometimes life happens. It does not mean that you have been a terrible person. So we can only discuss in context what we see, you know, but beyond.
That's true.
But honestly, safety is important in every
somebody is making a joke
now.
of the hanging on the tree that Muriel mentioned. I don't know whether this person has read the
He's going to read my book. I can't even go back to it. What I was trying to say, I was
a crash.
Accident.
She had an accident
Happened. Fly out the window.
She was flung out of the car.
Flung onto a tree.
Body parts scattered.
Rescued to the hospital. Nobody say she climbed tree, go they do Tarzan wife. I don't understand what's supposed to be.
Go read my book, please. Go read my book. You get all the information.
Now what's he right there and I say she be Tarzan wife.
That is all we can take on today's show. Honestly, I mean, I want to thank the ladies for coming. I mean, this is something that we should lend our voice to because the truth is that we've been saying it over and over again, and it's not something that we want to keep repeating. We hope our systems can be fixed such that, because whether people will go crazy. I always refer to the insurrection that happened in the US. That it's just that mad people everywhere. But it's a system that cuts you to your size, that put policies in place and put things in place to ensure that you work in a civilized society. That's what we desire. A civilized society where everybody, the led and the leaders can live harmoniously without this kind of accidents happening. That's all we can take on today's show. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.